back, folks. Please comment, subscribe, and leave a like on the video. We got kidnapped by the police, and now we're trying to do a quest for them. I guess we're a big bag criminal for stealing some medical supplies accidentally. I'm gonna go to the operations center to talk to the trailer.
Pardon. Excuse me.
Howdy.
Under Kibble Economy. Very African.
Ah, there you are. Excellent. Now that we've established your level of cooperation with us, I want to introduce you to your new home. This is the Operations Center of the UC Vigilance, SysDef's nerve center dedicated to the destruction of the Crimson Fleet.
You're gonna need more than one ship to eliminate an entire fleet. Attack. This is me shooting my way off this prison ship. Where is the Vigilance located right now?
We are currently in the Sol system, in deep orbit around Phobos. As to why, I'll explain momentarily.
What exactly is the Crimson Fleet?
That's strange. According to your file, you've encountered them. They were the pirates that attacked your mining outpost?
That's a ship, I don't see where I fit in.
Whether this ship is impressive or not, you're the key element that we've been lacking.
I am an introvert professor.
We need
educated,
eyes and
so I
ears
definitely don't
inside the
attack.
Crimson Fleet.
It's just not in
Someone
my
who
nature.
can feed us information, evidence, and expose their weakness.
Pause this real quick. Let's see. Oh, okay, it's gonna be a while. So once again, guys, comment, subscribe, leave a like. Please help me reach YouTube monetization threshold. So let's continue.
The catch is that you can't just knock on their
I
front
really
door
don't like
and
how
ask
it's
for an
so close
application.
up on their face.
Getting inside
But
is
that's just
going
trying
to
to quote
take some
unquote show off
finesse.
the quality of their new head models or whatever. Thinking it's impressive. I mean, I guess it's a little bit better, but look at those eyes. The models aren't the best, in my opinion. You know, it's a little bit better than Fallout 4. Just being close up like this is just annoying. I assume you've chosen me because I'm expendable. I prefer a more direct approach. It takes more than finesse to catch the attention of a pirate.
Let's get one thing straight right now. While you're working for me, I'm going to treat you like one of my own. Whatever crimes you committed in the past no longer matter. You're now an agent of SysDef, meaning that it's my job to keep you alive.
It takes more than finesse to catch the attention of a
It
pirate.
certainly does. So listen up. Our intelligence has managed to find a possible opening into the Crimson Fleet through Saoirse Bowden, one of their contacts. She works for the Trade Authority in Sidonia, so you'll be using a container of Aurora we've loaded on your ship to get her attention.
That's not like an ironclad plant. You can probably. Where did you get contraband? Aurora.
Aurora is a Class A controlled substance that's illegal to transport outside of Neon, a city on Volai. Get caught with this stuff aboard a ship.
I wouldn't call
and you're
Neon a
looking at
city.
some
I've been there.
serious fines.
It looks like that ship location from the Outer Worlds. The ship colony you go to. Even the layout looks exactly the same. Where did you get the contraband?
That's classified. Suffice to say that the smuggler who was previously hauling it will be spending the rest of their life in prison.
This doesn't sound like an ironclad plant. Sounds simple enough.
You'd better hope so. Saoirse won't be easy to dupe. Once you bluff your way into the Crimson Fleet, then the operation proceeds to evidence gathering. That's where my second-in-command, Lieutenant Gillian Toft, comes into the picture. She'll explain everything you need to know.
Why bother gathering up?
Let's just say my superiors need proof that engaging the Crimson Fleet is a larger priority than they're willing to admit. If we shove enough concrete evidence under their noses, they'll have no choice but to allocate the resources that I've requested. At the same time, we can use the evidence to arrest members of the Crimson Fleet, weakening them enough to strike a fatal blow.
Other resources they have, space travel, rather resource issues. This is the best plan you've got with boulder trouble. That's a lot to absorb. Went away. You must have quite a bit of confidence in my abilities.
If I didn't have confidence in your abilities, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Remember, this entire operation rests on your ability to infiltrate the Crimson Fleet and bring us the evidence we need to take them down.
My best. I'm just doing this for fun. I'm guessing it's too late to make it. My best.
I wouldn't expect any less. Look, before you begin, I want to make something perfectly clear. As an undercover operative for UC SysDev, you'll be expected to follow our code of conduct and ethics. Allow yourself to stray too far off the path, and you stand a good chance of spiraling out of control.
The hell? Let's stay the course. Can explain safe dev's conduct.
To put it simply, you can't go into every situation with guns blazing. Think before you act. Calculate what you're doing and pull the trigger only when it's absolutely necessary. At the end of the day, your primary goal is taking down the Crimson Fleet. That's the greater good. The Crimson Fleet doesn't follow the rules. They only abide by one thing: money.
Don't we all?
All of their morals and social graces fall by the wayside in pursuit of their greed. At first glance, this can appear quite enticing, so I'm warning you not to get lured into their trap. Think you can handle that? That's what I wanted to hear. Anyway, it's time to hand you over to Lieutenant Toft. She'll brief you about the details of the evidence-gathering portion of the operation. Now, get out of here, and good luck.
How will I maintain contact
That's
with
easy to answer. You don't. We'll be monitoring your activities from the vigilance and attempting to keep it within your vicinity. When you feel you've gathered enough evidence, and at the completion of your assignment, beyond that,
Do you have any other information?
all we know is that she's
On
been with
Bowden.
the Trade Authority for years, which means she's been privy to some seriously shady deals. She's shrewd and she's diligent. The only reason we were able to connect her with the Crimson Fleet at all was thanks to an informant. I'm afraid she's the best lead we've got.
What happens if I get arrested while I'm undercover?
For your own safety, nobody but myself and the crew of the Vigilance will be aware that you're working for the United Colonies. Basically, if you land in jail, you're going to... While you're running with the Crimson Fleet, you're undoubtedly going to be faced with some morally gray decisions. It's going to be difficult for you to weigh the consequences of pulling the trigger while maintaining your cover. Do what you have to do, but remember why you're out there in the first...
Because I'm coerced to be there.
That's why I expect you to constantly seek alternative means to overcome your obstacles, rather than blowing holes in them. Look, I can see that you're struggling with this. If there's a route to your goal which doesn't involve killing use your instincts. You have your orders.
Yes, sir. So I guess we gotta talk to his second in
Yes.
command.
All right. We don't have a
Oh
lot of
my
time, so I need you to
God.
listen up.
Doc, what are you
While
doing
you're working
here?
undercover, it's imperative that you gather as much evidence as possible.
Why are you Lieutenant
If you find any
Toff?
records that look suspicious or incriminating,
And you're also
you
like
bring it to me.
Lieutenant Mahoney.
Is that understood?
Or Captain Mahoney from that location I visited that was bugged out. And you also look at the doctor from New Homestead. Basically, you're Mr.
Rationalize it however you like, but that evidence is critical to the success of Commander Akande's operation. I want data slates, computer downloads, handwritten notes. Hell, I'll take anything if it'll get those bastards thrown into the brig.
Sounds like you have a personal vendetta against the Crimson Fleet.
You're damn right I do. That minor skirmish you had with them on Vectera was nothing compared to the death and destruction those pirates leave behind. If you've seen what I've seen, you'd understand why I'm pushing you so hard.
Well, I haven't seen it, so I can't relate. I'll bring you as much evidence as I can find. I've seen my fair share of violence. I'm no hero, I'm just here because I had no choice. Would you like to know about it?
I was hoping that you'd be inspired into thinking this is more than a punishment. It appears that I was wrong. I suppose we'll simply have to motivate you in a different way. Commander Akande has authorized a credit disbursement for each piece of evidence that you return, as compensation for your efforts.
Very generous.
It's not generous, it's motivational. Commander Akande's... All right. We've loaded a container of Aurora into your ship's cargo hold. We're also providing you with a sample you can use to tease the goods. We've cleared your ship for launch. Proceed to Sidonia. Make contact with Saoirse Bowden. And with any luck, she'll point you to the Crimson Fleet. That should do it. We'll be keeping them close at hand until this operation is complete. So, we'll be holding them in the Vigilance's brig. If you're feeling particularly ruthless, you could always head down there and say hello. I'm sure they'll be...
Safe. At some point, the risk isn't worth catching a few...
Not really, no.
Oh, right, sir. My mistake.
Just try and show a little more concern for
Yeah.
your personal safety.
Maybe... No, it's not really an appropriate time to be going over my private life. There are much more important things to be done. Let's just stick to the job. But, maybe we can talk about it some other time, okay?
I have to get caught.
Don't worry, the container's been registered with UC Security, so you shouldn't have it. Of course, if we find out you tried to sell it to someone outside the boundaries of this particular operation, well, I'll think. We'll be here if you need us.
Hey,
Burden of proof. Search for evidence.
Hello.
Separation complete.
Gosh. Level 1. Money. Yeah.
I found something for you. Hey, boss, check this out. I found something. Damn, guess I'm getting predictable in my old age. This seemed like the kind of thing that might come in handy. The rest of the crew could learn a thing or two from me, huh? I'll give you a holler if I find...
Heller might prove that they didn't find his parents.
I hope I'm not bothering you.
I'm a little nervous. Are you okay?
Well, I guess I am. The thing is, I get injured on the job a lot. Nothing too serious. I've lost a few fingers and toes and stuff.
The hell?
And will I have to go see Dr. Flynn a lot for treatment? I'm pretty sure she's annoyed and sick of seeing me. I don't blame her. I've been thinking about writing her a letter of apology, but I have no idea where to even start. I don't want to come across as weird or annoying. No. Oh, I mean, was that too frank? I don't know. I mean, the job pays well, but it's danger. I'm definitely looking forward to my contract being up so I can leave. But I don't really know what I'll do after. Oh, man, this is all so stressful. Stay safe.
I looked online about new Homestead and Keller and Lynn. Apparently no one else can
The miners
find
pretty much run
Lynn's
the lower levels here.
daughter-in-law, or daughter, I guess, stepdaughter, Miranda, or Heller's family anywhere. One person mentioned how Heller makes one comment about avoiding his mom or something. Most people can't find him.
If you're here to buy or sell, you might want to talk to Octai. I'm busy.
I'm here to sell, but I'm looking for you. I brought something that should interest you from the fleet.
Octai Enbayar. He's the head of our Sidonia branch. If you want to do some trading, he's the one you need to be talking to. I'm busy.
I'm here to sell, but I'm looking for you.
Wouldn't be the first time I've heard that line. Oh, don't give me that look. I'm just having a laugh. What have you got for me?
Take a look at this sample.
Aurora, huh? Nice. A little too hot to handle, though. What else you got?
Can't handle it. Let me just look.
All I'm going to point at is the ceiling, with my middle finger. Get that stuff out. Of course, if there's a finder's fee you're offering, I might, well...
You pay just to find out.
You know, it's funny. Suddenly, I do remember someone who might be able to unload that stuff for you. There's a buddy of mine who runs with the Crimson Fleet. Goes by the name Adler Kemp. If he isn't passed out, you can find him killing the rest of his brain cells at the Broken Spear. Oh, and it's been a pleasure doing business with you.
Hey, you need something?
A reminder that Bring Your Child to Work Day is not an officially sanctioned holiday, and that it is not advised.
Welcome to
to
the
allow
Take Your
children
Time.
to potentially-
And that's cool. That's what. Come back anytime.
huh?
That. Oh, this is Cyberpunk's jumping and dashing. I tried to do that. Huh? Sure.
Hey, sounds like a plan. See you around.
Go this way, just go near that, and we will see.
The new equipment is great. I finally feel like I'm working at full speed.
Oh, there he is, Adler Camp.
Unless you're here to serve me
Hello,
another
Adler.
drink, you can turn around and walk away.
Shut up, Adler. Yes,
Hey, why don't you say that a little louder? I don't think every single UC guard in Sidonia heard you. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think we can help you with this. If you've got a whole shipment of this stuff, you're going to need to move it fast. But you're going to have to do something for us first.
Get it. Who's being us? I thought I was dealing with you.
You're a clever one, aren't you? Let's just say I have a certain influential affiliation.
You're a Ryan Syndicate.
Basically, you want that Aurora moved, I'm your guy.
Get out, just take the ship. No problem.
Right down to business, and no small talk. I like it. Now listen up, because I'm not going to repeat myself. I need you to deal with a miner who's racked up a bunch of debt. He probably spent it all on booze, not that I blame him. Either way, I want that money back.
Alright. I'll just pay off his debt right now so we can get down to business.
Feel free to throw as many credits in my face as you want, but that isn't the point. His name's Carl Fielding. I think you'll find him wandering around the Deimos miners' quarters. Don't worry, you can't miss him. Just look for the most miserable-looking guy in the entire place.
Hey, what's going on?
Have you checked your air filters lately? The city of Sidonia recommends checking your filtration every 2 weeks for old, faulty, or improperly fitted filters. Martian done.
Oh, many loading. Good. And they make it seamless.
I heard they found another new freshwater deposit.
Bad worker. Oh, there he is. He does look beautiful.
Something I can help you with?
I'm gonna collect the credit.
Adler Camp. Who the heck is that?
I'll do it by the desk, so I just pay quickly.
What? Play what games? You're obviously confusing me with someone.
Dude,
Look,
get paid well out of the miner, dude.
it's been a long day in the
Pay up.
mines. I just want to go home, wash off the dust, and relax. This has been fun.
You use that money for something necessary, like alcohol. I'll leave you alone. No, I'm not going. Sure, you know, we'll be well.
Hey now. Take it easy there. Let me think about that person you mentioned. Adler, was it? Oh, wait. You mean that Adler? Yeah, sorry. I thought you were talking about someone else. I told him I'd pay up next week when Deimos cuts our next profit share check. I'll...
Pay now or Deimos will be sending reports home in the cast.
Come on! Give me a break!
No.
What the... Look,
Down to
I
this
haven't
problem
got a single
drinking
credit
alcohol,
to
you
spare
idiot.
right
Pay up.
Okay? You can't squeeze
Idiots
blood
like
from a
this.
stone. You know? Right?
Promises I'm born from Adler and I'll pay your debt for you. Why are you?
What games? Why are you doing this to me?
It's really worth the risk. You could always make the money back up later.
Sure. I guess I could ask for a 7-day shift. I don't know.
Just make sure you don't pay this back up.
Holy shit. You're right. Adler doesn't just want me beaten up. He's going to have me killed. Huh. Please, tell Adler I'm sorry for trying to wiggle out of the debt. I didn't have much of a choice.
Yeah, you did.
Graffiti and other street art is not tolerated for Civilian City Ordinance 5.82. Failure to comply with...
For an Orion Syndicate-like organization. Great. Flying to the moon. I'm moving to the moon.
Hey, careful around the equipment. Don't...
Have something for me? Well, would you look at that? I knew that bum was holding out on me. He going to be a problem anymore? Or did he get the message?
He got the message.
Nice, nice. You're kind of a natural at this. Leaning on deadbeats comes easy to you. I like that. You know, if you like this kind of work, I can get you more. A lot more. You think you can handle running with my, associates?
Orion Syndicate. If you think they can handle me.
That's what I'm talking about. I like your style. All right. I'll call ahead and get a hold of Neva Mora. She's second to the big boss himself. Head out to Europa. You'll find her there. I suggest you listen to whatever she has to say. Oh, and I've taken care of that Aurora shipment for you too. Don't spend all that cash in one place.
Just give her a chat.
Please exercise.
Welcome me this time. But fine.
Prime.
Right, you're gonna small chance of having a sudden development each time you contribute two components to a research station, which can reduce the number of components necessary to complete the project.
Perfect place to bust out the old laser cutter. Let's...
Oh.
It's digging.
Take a picture of myself.
Hey, what can I do for you? It's going to eat us! Run!
Again? That's the second time this month.
I know. I'll send someone to go patch it up again. We do what we gotta do until we can get the...
New Homestead is a living history exhibit. But these are real people, so please be kind to them.
Have you wear it?
Enjoy your visit here.
Hey, got any fancy trinkets you want to offload? Well, hello there, and welcome to my little shop. Are you visiting New Homestead for the first time?
Yes, it's my first time.
Oh, nice. You know, it's always such a pleasure to meet people from other worlds. Or just space. I don't judge. I'm Jay. I'm happy to help you find what you're looking to buy or take a look at whatever you want to sell. Trades of all kinds are welcome here. Or if you have any questions for me about the shop, the merchandise, or even just New Homestead in general, I'm happy to help you.
You mentioned something about trading. What sort of things are you looking for?
Glad you asked. I'm looking for all sorts of things. Anything, really. Clothing, weapons, jewelry. We don't get a lot of off-world stock, so I offer to buy things from travelers. Between you and me, people around here talk a lot about tradition and whatnot, but even they get curious about what other worlds have to offer.
I see. What do you think of all the tourists who come to Homestead?
I love them. Most of us in New Homestead appreciate what tourism does for our economic livelihood, so we go out of our way to make guests feel welcome. Some are indifferent about it, while a few others, I won't name names, are downright resentful of all the tourists and would prefer to be left alone. But that being said, I believe our generally friendly demeanor is a large part of what drives people to keep coming back.
You sell any souvenirs?
We used to, but not anymore. Believe it or not, the New Homestead Tourism Board decided a while back to do away with souvenirs. We don't really have the resources or facilities to make them here ourselves, and it was decided that anything less than that would seem exploitive of our people and inauthentic. Only thing we have are these souvenir slates about the history of New Homestead. Tell you what, I've got an extra one here that another guest left behind a while back. Sure thing. Come back anytime.
We live a simple life on New Homestead, but make no mistake.
Ice hockey stick is not necessarily of Edmonton, Canada during the 1988 championship game. Ice hockey is a contact sport played on an ice rink with two teams of 5 players and 2 goaltenders called goalies compete to deposit a rubberized puck into the players traverse a ring with specialized shoes mounted on thin metal blades called ice skates and manipulate the puck with specialized grip sticks such as the
It's fulfilling.
Miscellaneous earth activities from left to right. Unknown decorative liquor bottle from the earth. Electronic pipe is on various substances. Early Homestead equipment. Equi dial. What the Homestead original settlers as a family heirloom. Original construction 1800. Scroll case of unknown date and origin. Believed to have once been a secret relic. Scroll case likely predates any other synthetic item in the museum. The scroll itself is United States. NASA, one of several Earth-based space agencies, was instrumental in doing kinds of various journeys into space. Indeed, it was due to the efforts of NASA that New Homestead exists. In 2107, NASA sent an unmanned probe to Titan, which paved the way for the development of the Titan Astro Base. Completed in 2130. By 2185, the Titan Astro Base project was transitioned into the colony of New Homestead. From left to right, NASA prototype rocket, NASA printed model, Wellstick 1 USSR spacecraft. Space Shuttle Discovery, Apollo 11, collectible symbols, items unknown from NASA.
If someone maybe...
Hey, you don't have to get nervous.
Titan 20 million years ago. Piece of drone on a meteorite which was believed to have.
I know you don't have a lot of money.
People here live a
I'll always
simple
take care of
life.
you. I bought something off a tourist real cheap. I think you're gonna like it. I'll drop by with it later, after I clean it up.
Wow. Thank you, Jay. I don't know what to say.
Don't worry about it. You just keep on being you.
Some say New Homestead is a backwoods world. Maybe it is, but that doesn't really bother me. Oh, you don't really want to talk to me. I'm just a nobody from the crates.
Hey, you're not a nobody, you are a human
Besides, I'm not really good at talking to tourists about New Homestead. If you're really interested in our history, talk to Maurice. He's a lot better at that than I am.
Sure, I'm equipped. Whatever you've got going on. I'm sure you're not nobody. I'd love to talk with you, really.
You do? I mean, sure. I don't know.
I should think about the crates. What's that?
The crates are what we call the living quarters for the poor people, like me. They're made from old shipping containers. We have to make do with the space we have here. They're comfortable enough, I guess. And no one on Titan is well off to begin with, but you can tell that people look down on us, especially some of the tourists.
Did you hear me?
Well, I'm trying to finish up my undergrad schooling, actually. I want to be a physicist like my grandmother.
Nice.
Then, who knows what?
A fellow scholar, fellow
But
academic,
I also do
fellow
some
learner
odd
like me.
jobs here or
I was
there
I was a
for money.
professor.
Sometimes I
in a
help
way.
Jay
Just not
out at
officially
his
with the
shop, and
university,
he gives me
and
stuff
I'm pretty
in
well
return.
learned. I'm pretty well learned.
Sometimes I help Anya clean up at the Brown Horse when she's short-staffed. It's not as bad as you'd think. I like talking to off-worlders, especially people my age. It gives me ideas for what I want to do when I'm done with school. Because, honestly, I'm not sure I want to stay here. It'll always be my home, but as soon as I can afford to, I'd love to explore my options.
So you're having trouble with your studies?
Okay, well, no. Not the studies specifically. Like, I get good grades when I'm able to apply myself. But I'm poor. I just don't have the kind of money to be a full-time student and support myself. Even living in the cheap-ass crates.
Huh. That's weird hearing you say that.
I keep
with your
having
voice
to take odd jobs
and your
just to put
mannerism.
food on my plate. And when I do, my grades suffer. I just feel like I'll be stuck in a rut forever.
You can be successful without finishing school. You may just need to get out of Homestead. As an educator, I advise you to take a lighter course load. Go part-time, it'll help.
You know, I never stopped to think about that. Like, I know I won't get it all done as quick as I'd hoped, but it's funny. I get better life advice from a total stranger than my mother ever gave me. Didn't even know that was an option.
I am a professor.
Thanks for the advice. Okay, well, no, but I keep having to take...
Yeah, basics. Here, consider this a scholarship.
What? Really? I don't know what to say. This is
I support
beyond
learners.
kind of you. I mean, I don't even
Those
know
that-
you, but
Those that want to
Wow.
learn and be a physicist
Thank
and
you.
apply themselves, I'd like to support them as someone that has the wealth.
see you around, maybe.
Right,
That's the doctor's costume, isn't it? I saw when it was delivered. Sure is. Thanks for stopping by to talk.
problem. Rihanna Morales, Brasilia. Brasilia. J. Montreal. Facilities. That's my boy. Clinic.
I kind of want to try food from that Junk's place, but
Do you need medical
my
assistance?
papa says just a bunch of junk food
Get out
for
the
tourists.
Oh, I'm glad it worked. I'm just happy I was able to find someone willing to help with this ridiculous idea. Tell you what, if you want to come back later and do this for me a couple more times, I'll even let you keep the costume. You wouldn't believe how many off-worlders think hiking the surface of Titan is all fun and games. But a lot of thrill seekers end up in my office. Try to be careful out there.
That is a costume. I'm sad.
I don't mind the tourists. They help the local economy.
This is a boring assignment. But let's keep it that way.
The Bill Stars app tool.
Have any questions?
Let's go to the next.
Alrighty. We'll be taking the residential elevator to the farms area on the surface level. This way, please. Let's leave these good people alone for now and go check out the farms. Follow me up the elevator.
You off-worlders have it made. Later.
Where are you Gotta use that
I
money.
could really go for some of Anya's cooking over at the Brown Horse.
That's where we all be living.
If you need medical attention, see Dr. Lakota.
No.
But a word of warning, she really doesn't care for tourists.
We're gonna take a shit. Oh shit, is this where you gotta take a shit? Little pipe. They're flushing. I'm gonna take a picture of this. Good lord. It'd be the reality though, right? Flushing toilet is a luxury. I just don't know. Alright, let's go. Bella bar. Bella bar. Take your time, Star Sap.
New Homestead's farms are the beating heart of the colony. Without them, the original outpost would have shriveled and died. These pods are sealed and climate controlled, the perfect environment for growing the hydroponic vegetation needed for survival in the early days of the colony. Any questions about the farms?
The farm's still
Oh,
operational?
they are indeed. Colonists still cultivate plant-based food for their own consumption here in New Homestead. It's less vital to their survival these days, as they also import supplemental food from other colonies, including meats, dairy, and synthetics.
Okay, what do they go
These
here?
days, it's a mix of what you find elsewhere in the galaxy, but in the olden days, it was all brought over from Earth. It was a lot of hardy root vegetables like potatoes, carrots, beets, and such, supplemented with corn, peas, green beans, soy, etc., which didn't always grow as well.
How is this different than anywhere else in the galaxy?
Good question. It's largely the same, because this was the colony that pioneered the techniques you see elsewhere. But you'll notice that the farms here are smaller and staffed by humans, not robots. Things here are a little more old-fashioned compared to some of the large factory farms you'll find elsewhere in the settled systems. By all means, go right ahead. Feel free to talk to the farmers, but come back and...
Ah, there. Always nice seeing a new face.
Thank you. That app.
The elders say that preserving our tradition is so important, but I keep hearing such wonderful things about other worlds. Ah, someone new. Are you a tourist, or have you just moved to New Homestead?
I'm here visiting amateurs.
Well, there's lots to learn. You can always feel free to try one of the historical tours, or ask the locals about life here. I'm fascinated by the other worlds in the settled systems. Do you mind if I ask you a question? Oh, wonderful. What's New Atlantis like?
Amazing. Huge skyscrapers, beautiful skies, people from all walks of life. None of them really work out. Too much hustle. It's terrible. I'm here frontier cities. Amazing.
Oh my, that sounds incredible. Ever since I overheard one of the tourists speaking about it, I've always wanted to go. We hear about it, of course, but
I can take you.
We rarely get much exposure to other worlds. I wonder if I can convince Nathaniel to go on a trip there with me and our daughter. Do you mind if I ask you another question?
I don't mind.
Thanks. I promise not to take too much of your time.
You want money?
Is the Freestar Collective as lawless as I've heard?
Freestar Strand is a monument to freedom. Anyone can live as they please. Not as lawless as they usually believe.
I figured the stories weren't all true. How else would you expect people to live together if you can't trust in laws to keep everyone safe? Even in a small community like ours, we have to maintain law and order. Though, I understand it gets difficult to always protect that out in the vastness of space. I imagine it's the same in the Freestar Collective. Is it okay if I change the subject? Oh, thank you. Are there really planets full of plants, fresh air, and water?
Yes, there are beautiful planets teeming with life of all kinds, sure, but they're not all bad. If you see one, you've seen them all. Maybe, but I've seen one, you've seen sure. Seen one, you've seen them all, yeah.
Really? I would think anything is better than what we have outside. I'd love to be able to leave the colony without worrying about putting on a suit. I've heard that people can go outside freely on those worlds, but perhaps some of you travelers just get used to it, having been all around the settled systems. You should learn not to take it for granted. Can I ask you something else? Oh, wonderful. Is space travel as exciting as it?
I'm still amazed by the awe and wonder of it every time I go out there. Space is incredible, it's also extremely dangerous. Yeah.
I've heard stories about pirates and spaceship malfunctions and all sorts of terrible things. I've always wanted to try going into space, but I'm also worried about all those... Maybe people here are right. The dangers here are few, and we know how to take care of them. Space is too unknown. Those are all the questions I have at the moment. Thank you so... Do you come from one of those planets with beautiful skies and fresh air? My, how I'd love to visit one day. Thanks again for taking the time to answer questions for me. I learned a lot from you.
No disrespect, but I'd appreciate if you let me and my family be.
I'm not really supposed to talk with tourists, but I kind of want to anyway. And I don't think my papa is paying attention.
He's right there, girl.
You're not going to tell him, are you?
No, not if you don't.
Oh, thank you! I promise it'll be fun. I like talking to tourists. I get to learn so much about everywhere else, and they get to learn about here. Now what should we talk about?
A lot of other kids in New Homestead?
Not really. There's some, though. Most are around my age. We all go to school in the same room.
Is their school here the same as the other schools in the solar system?
I don't know. I've never been to any other schools. We mostly learn about the history of the solar system and Earth and stuff like that, until we get old enough to go on our learning vacation. That's when we get to leave to go to school somewhere else for a few years, or travel and visit other worlds, try out jobs and stuff. Oh, I can't wait.
Internships. Why doesn't your dad want you talking to tourists?
My mama says it's because he thinks we'd up and leave if we found out about the rest of the worlds out there. But I keep telling him, I love it here, and I love him, and I would never leave him. He doesn't believe it. He says the kids almost always want to leave when they grow up. But not me. Nope. I just want to visit somewhere else. Maybe. I think it's pretty fun. And I get to be around my mama and my papa all day, so that's cool. They say we all have to work a little, because it takes all of us to make the community work. Just like on Earth a really, really, really long time ago. Someday, I think it'd be cool to see other places and do other things, but this is fine for now. Thanks for taking the time to talk with me.
I overheard you speaking to my wife, Mara, filling her head with ideas about picking up and leaving home. You got anything to say for yourself?
Yeah, she clearly wants to visit Awful. We're not letting her.
Listen here. Mara's free to make her own decisions. I'm not here to control her if that's what you're insinuating. But that doesn't mean I take kindly to other people manipulating her and telling her the other worlds are full of sunshine and rainbows. We live a simple traditional life, and it's important to the community that we maintain that. Do you understand?
Hey, you're right. It's none of my business. Sorry, I don't agree with you. People should explore the universe freely. Hey, just so you know, I talked to you.
Did you? Well, she should know better than to talk with tourists like you. Now, you might want to consider heading off before you cousin. I overheard you speaking to my wife. You got anything to say for you? Listen here. Mara, but that doesn't mean we live a simple
tradition.
Traditions like the way we tend this farm. Strong family ties. Early colonial life. We do it all with the bare minimum technologies to survive.
Hey.
Everything else is hard work done by
family
humans.
and community. No
it's
issues
good
with
for
that,
humanity's
bro.
soul.
I agree with you, man. But I don't agree that people should be stuck here. They should be able to explore the universe freely.
We're going to have to agree to disagree then. I only ask that you respect our wishes.
Yes, I have to. Shoot.
Any questions about the farms? Onward it is! We'll be stopping by the Brown Horse Tavern later in the tour, which uses many of these locally sourced ingredients in their cooking. But for now, it's just a short way to our next stop. Follow me! So, the old biolabs are just on the other side of this building, believe it or not. We'll step on through the hallway there. They're not in use anymore, but the colony has faithfully recreated them as a historical exhibit, true to the original purpose of the Titan Astrobase. Sadly, they're undergoing some light renovation. Otherwise, there'd be interactive activities for kids to learn about how they used to search for microbial life here. Pardon the dust, but I can still answer some questions about the old Titan Astrobase biolabs. Funny you should ask. Sadly, none. See, NASA funded the Titan Astrobase project because conditions seemed ripe for primordial life to form in Titan's methane pools. They tested many different sites, performed deep core ice drilling, and more, yet nothing turned up.
That was it. What did they last for?
Well, NASA defunded the xenobiology program in 2132, but a scientist by the name of Catherine Neely proposed research into advanced colony building on inhospitable worlds. So, by 2135, work began on what would ultimately set us all up to create habitats anywhere humans dared to explore. These very labs housed the computer systems used in that research. That and general storage for the colony. Lots of storage.
I'm gonna...
Oh, I'm sorry. I completely forgot to mention that. That's what this place was originally called. When NASA divested its interest in the Astrobase and turned it over to the people back in 2185, they renamed it New Homestead and established it as a historical site. Sure thing. Keep in mind the Biolabs exhibit is closed for visitors, but I'll be waiting if you need a minute anyway. Pardon the dump. You got it. On to our next stop. Next, we'll be heading outside, so make sure to check those seals on your suit because it's a bit chilly out there. We're going out into the frozen wastes of Titan to see what powers this planet. Watch your step outside, by the way. The ice can be slippery if you're not careful. The goal is to kick people out of Dr. Lakota's infirmary. Anyway, where were we? Oh, yes. Powering New Homestead. As you might imagine, generating energy was a real challenge back in the day because the technology was much more crude then. But crude or not, it was that technology that sustained the old Astro base. And it might surprise you to learn that the same technology is still working today. The interesting thing about this old colony is that it's mostly powered by clean, renewable energy. You'll see one of the methods used on the horizon up ahead. That's right, New Homestead's famous wind farms. This spot was chosen for the colony in part because of its constant winds.
Quick save.
These turbines have been integral to the colony's function since its establishment as a cheap, mostly reliable source of electricity.
Guys, that wind that controls these heavy turbines to investment fund.
So, let's talk about... Mostly. I'm sure you've noticed the occasional brownouts. I guess these old machines have a habit of freezing up, what with all the ice out here.
Correctness? Book shit.
There's some methane on reserve for critical life support systems, but everything else here is otherwise powered by the units you see here. You're looking at a piece of history. Sure, wind power is used throughout the galaxy, but these people were able to make do with it for hundreds of years. It's impressive that was all they had back then, and still make it work to this day.
I didn't think Titan was all that windy.
You're right. Most surface wind on Titan isn't too terribly strong, but here, the altitude and other conditions are perfect for sustained wind power. Like many worlds with atmosphere, the higher you go, the windier it gets. Absolutely.
Hey, I'm on Titan. Hey, I'm standing on the wind turbine. On Titan. Good. Nothing late. The methane Titan. That's that. Methane lake of Titan.
So, let's talk.
Actually, let's.
You're the boss. Let's go. Moving right along, we're going to learn about Titan's great natural resources. Titan is rich with hydrocarbons like methane and ethane. Surely you saw huge pools of this stuff on your descent into New Homestead. I like to think they add to the natural beauty of this world. Though of course stay away from them because, like anything beautiful, they can be dangerous. Just like my last ex-wife's pet. She had this gorgeous, I don't know what you'd call it, creature. The guy that sold it to her couldn't tell her what it was or where it was from. I don't think it was even a legal sell, to be honest. The thing was very easy on the eyes. Feathers, all the colors of the rainbow. Nasty bite, though. Wound up in the hospital and almost lost my hand. Still not enough for her to get rid of the dang thing. Anyway, there's a reason she's my ex-wife. But enough about me. We were talking about methane and other resources, right? Hey, can you believe it? Back in the 20th century on Earth, they used to fight wars over natural resources like this and petroleum. They had this whole moon here basically made of hydrocarbons in their own backyard. They just couldn't get to it. Incredible how far we've come. New Homestead is home to one of the oldest and largest methane processing plants in the settled systems. Every year, UC engineers go through a painstaking, month-long maintenance process. That's how this place has remained operational as long as it has. I'm not going to take you too close to the machinery, liability and all, but I can still answer questions. Questions? Exports mostly, since this world is so methane rich and has the infrastructure for it, a lot of the UC's methane comes from Titan. Of course, new homesteaders use it themselves for everything from generating heat to turning it into breathable oxygen by a modern science.
That's a little bit of transportation. Wait, how do they turn methane into oxygen?
Oh, no one's ever asked me that before. Something to do with methane-eating microbes, I believe? I honestly don't know. Sorry.
How can they shut the plant down for maintenance if you allow it to live?
It's not as if they shut down for a month. It's not shut down at all, actually. See, this place is built with redundant systems, so they can shut it down piece by piece and suffer only a reduction in throughput. During that time, the UC gets more of its resources from other places, allowing New Homestead to maintain what it needs.
Right.
Okie dokie, artichokey. There will be time for more later. So, this next stop is a bit of an interesting one. I only recently made it part of the tour. Fun fact, it's also the only natural landmark on the tour. What we're about to see is a glacial spire we affectionately call Ymir's Horn. This colus used to be named after a character to avoid any potential litigation. Now, what's a colus, you might say? Colus derives from the Latin word for hill, and scientists only gave names to groups of hills on a planet's surface. So in reality, the term you hear more often is the plural, coles, with an E. You probably don't hear it very often where you're from, because it was usually a term reserved for unexplored planets, back when they didn't have the technology to describe what they were seeing firsthand. Because of that, the term is much more common in the Sol system, but you may still hear it occasionally in reference to uncharted worlds. This planet's full of them, though, and they like to preserve that history here. So here it is, Ymir's Horn.
Geology. Colus are more like hills. Are you sure this isn't the ancient Fumarolid ice tower? Ymir, who's that?
According to ancient Norse mythology, Ymir was the first Jotun, a frost giants. In the legend, they were both male and female and gave birth to the progenitors of all giants from their armpits. Ymir even predated the Norse gods, who, as it turns out, killed Ymir to fashion the earth and all of humanity from the corpse. It's a fascinating story, and the horn here is a fitting tribute to it. How about that? You really know your stuff. Maybe you should be the one giving the tour. I kid. I'm not sure. I heard someone say that before. Something about the worn-down remains of an ancient volcano producing ice via steam? I don't know. It sounds like you understand this stuff better than I do. Excellent. On to the next stop. So, we're gonna head back inside through the methane processing plant. Try not to touch anything on your way. We want to make sure to respect Dr. Lakota's wishes to be safer around here. That brings me to another point. You'll notice the people around here have last names related to where their families originated from on Earth as a way to remember the past. The museum curator, Maurice Leon, has more information about that if you're interested. You can find him inside the main concourse. Loves talking about it. You'll find most of the locals here are very friendly to tourists like yourself. Tourism is a major draw to this colony these days, and I respect that. Most of them are happy to talk at length about what they do here. Their rugged lifestyle is a point of pride for a lot of these folks. This area we're walking through is the nerve center of the plant, where technicians keep an eye on the operation. Since methane production is such an important part of the colony's livelihood, it's important that the techs notice any issues and react to them quickly. Anyway, we're headed into the ice mines. It's a natural spring where water bubbles up from deep below, but due to the cold, it keeps freezing as it reaches the surface.
Then his shit on.
What else can I tell you about the... Not all. Some water is created as a byproduct of methane processing, but that's usually saved in the emergency reserves.
I treat this area like the rest of the colony.
Good question. I believe it has something to do with not wanting to contaminate the water with methane and other... The ice helps prevent impurities in the water. At least this is what I've been told.
I'm thirsty. Can I get a drink straight from the source?
I wouldn't recommend it. First, it's an active work site. Second, it still needs to be filtered and checked for content. But don't worry, we'll stop somewhere for refreshments before the tour is over. Sounds good. Let's keep... we have just one more stop before we're done with the tour, and it
Audio.
just happens to be my favorite.
Lots of history here. If you're into that sort of thing.
Still in existence.
Another tourist come to learn about the ice mines. It's dangerous in the ice mines. I'd much rather answer your questions than have you going off to explore on your own.
So dangerous.
I'm surprised I still get this question. It's slippery, it's sharp, it can break, it can cave in. Those are just the obvious examples. Titan is also full of methane, which can sometimes be trapped under the ice. As you know, methane can explode under the right conditions. It can also asphyxiate you if you breathe in too much of it.
As a fellow miner, I can respect the dangers you face.
Ah, so you can relate. It's good to talk with someone who understands the challenges of the job. Not everyone does. If I might ask, what do you mine?
A little bit of that. Minerals mostly.
The moniker
Resource
Brown
industrial
Horse
purposes.
Tavern is also a throwback to names of similar Earth restaurants.
None you added, none of your business.
Ah, I see. I can respect it. We used to do more traditional mining like that here, but it made much more sense to do it off-world, since it takes a lot more effort for less gain. We mostly export methane and other natural gases instead. Anyway, I'm sure we could swap mining stories all day, but I really should be getting back to what I was doing. For one, New Homestead is not a wealthy colony, but we also pride ourselves on doing things the old ways. It's part of the living history, they say. We don't mind. We work hard here, and it's very rewarding.
Ice mines, what do you mine?
For drinking water. And we use some of it to produce this air you're breathing. We recycle a lot of what we use, but we still need a nice, steady supply of fresh water. Lucky for us, Titan provides. Bye.
All of this place.
That delicious smell is making me hungry.
How could this possibly be the oldest restaurant in the solar system?
Easy. All the other ones fell to ruin when we abandoned Earth. There were technically older ones on Mars, but those have long since shuttered or been replaced.
Any recommendations?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I honestly love everything Anya serves here. I'd be doing her a disservice to recommend one dish over another. You want the real answer? Order one of everything. Anya Seattle is the current owner of the Brown Horse. It's been in the Seattle family for generations. But Anya will be able to tell you more herself. Feel free to ask her. It doesn't feel right coming from me when she's standing right over there. Okay then. All right, we're headed to the last stop. Right back where we began. Feel free to check out the museum exhibit in the main concourse here. These displays are full of rare Earth trinkets salvaged from before humanity left, and Maurice is happy to talk about the collection. The museum's curator, Maurice, will be happy to talk to you if you want to know more.
I think you're gonna like it. I'll drop by with it later, after I clean it up.
Well, that's that! I hope you enjoyed Starsap tours as much as I enjoy giving them.
I love this. That was super cool. I feel like you should have.
Oh, wow. I really appreciate it. You know, I rely on tips from good people like you, so thank you from the bottom of my heart. Enjoy the rest of your stay in New Homestead. Take care!
It's been a while since I last visited.
Welcome, I'm Anya. Is this your first time with us at the Brown Horse Tavern?
Yes, I've never been.
Oh, well, thank you for joining us. You're in for a real treat. We've got an assortment of food and drinks, some of which follow homemade recipes that have been passed down over hundreds of years. So, what can I do for you?
What is this?
You mean the Brown Horse? Well, it's only the longest continuous running restaurant since humans started settling outside of Earth. There's a lot of history within these walls. And some damn fine food and drink, if I say so myself. This place has been in my family for generations. My however many great-grandmother opened it when the first colony started on Titan. Back then, it was a simple mess hall that she chose to put a little extra love and flavor into. And now, it's the pride of New Homestead.
So the chunks are not there. Does it hurt your business?
Oh, hardly. The locals pretty much stay away from chunks, so whenever they don't feel like cooking themselves and want a fresh meal, they come to me. Only the tourists eat that junk. But don't tell that to my husband. He manages the chunks. I love him, but
oh shit,
he's a bit of a fanatic about it.
You're married to that dude. Hilarious.
Let me show you what we have. It may not look like it. Hope you'll be back sometime.
Alright, guys, please comment, subscribe, like. Please have a choice next time.